Masculine Mindset Show. It's Adam Skoda, and today, you guys, I have a very special guest on today. He is known as the Chizeler on Instagram, and he is, in my mind, a fucking pimp and a badass because he has the potential to be a fitness icon on Muscle and Fitness magazine, and that's just fucking awesome and spectacular. And I'm really, dude, this guy's a fucking legend. So go ahead, James. Let's hear your take on manning up, because this is the topic for today. How to man the fuck up. So the floor is yours, man.
Well, yeah. Hey, thank you for having me on here, Adam. I appreciate you reaching out and making this happen with me. Um, but a little bit about myself. Yeah, my name is James Ziegler. Um, 35 years old. I'm a personal trainer. I've been working out and being healthy all my life. Can't honestly remember a time when I was overweight. I mean, obviously, yes, for sure. Eating too much, you're kind of technically always overweight. Um, but just overweight to where I guess to where I couldn't easily just start working out and kind of bounce back really quickly. Um, but I love fitness. Just to, like I said, it started with feeling good and looking good. Just wanted to work out to feel good and look good and build my confidence, and it was just, and then ultimately, obviously, that lifestyle inevitably actually makes you feel that way. It makes you feel healthy and you feel confident and you feel, just overall good. You vibing high. Um, and then as I got older, you take it to another level. You take the working out to another level to where, you start to utilize working out for tools to, ease the stresses throughout the week or throughout the month or whatever. And you work out and everybody has that. That's the thing. Everybody has built up energy throughout the week or throughout the day or whatever it may be, and needs to be released some kind of way, whether you release it through playing video games or watching TV or overeating or whatever you do, seeing or whatever you
Pussy.
have to, yeah, having
Yeah,
just
yeah.
having my meaningless sex, as they say, Um,
I will
but
I will say this because I know my podcast does target uh my phone just went off. That's probably Mike from GP Penitentiary. But anyways, so to really actually tell the listeners how I met the Chiseler, all right? I met him through Wes Watson, and obviously, what I'm going to say to all of you here, okay? You guys probably know this man on Instagram. He's controversial, he's polarizing, but let me be clear to all of you. The topic for today is manning up, and in my opinion, the best way to man up is to follow your own lead. Okay, follow your own lead. That is self leadership. And I this is something that, before I even worked with Wes and his community, I've actually followed this rule my entire life. I never really like to take orders from people. You know what I mean? Like, dude, James, you're an entrepreneur at heart when you literally care less to live up to anyone's expectations of you. You know what I mean?
right, right.
So so it's like, dude, fuck off. Like, I don't want to listen to you. You know what I mean? It's like you're you got these people out there, right? That's basically saying, "Oh, hey, Adam, relax a little bit. Relax a little bit. You need some days off." Fuck that. You know what I mean? It's like, get the fuck out of my way. You look at your body. You know what I mean? If I'm gonna listen to you, I'm not gonna fucking have the body I want. I'm gonna have the body you have.
Yeah,
So
no, yeah,
it's
that is a way to look at it for sure. Like it's, you want to take advice. There's gonna be somebody you take advice from, and
right.
usually it's harder to take advice from other people that's not related to you or not close to you or haven't been around, in your life a while. So it's kind of like, okay, well, what are your credentials? What can you do? What have you done? How do you look? Where do you work? What results have you gotten? That's kind of like the mindset you go into next when taking advice from somebody else.
Right. And so I want to add a big caveat to following your own lead. There there is a point where you don't know everything. And I actually released a podcast called The Number One Reason Why You're Not the Expert in Fitness. And the reason why I say that is because there comes a point where I think a lot of personal trainers out there, and this does apply to me as I think any other trainer listening potentially, that is you let your knowledge or any of your certifications go to your head and you think, "Oh, I'm the fucking expert," but really, you have to remember that you are a lifelong student of health and fitness.
Right. Definitely. Definitely. Just with anything else though, not just health and fitness, is
Yeah.
lifelong student of cooking, lifelong student of, work of just whatever you're doing, watching TV. I mean, if you watch TV, but of listening to a podcast, you get, better as you do it more and more and more, whatever you do, the more interested you are into what you're doing, the more better and more efficient you'll eventually get.
So, what's one of your ways to manning the fuck up? Now that I said follow your own lead.
Um, for me, it was just realizing that we're all our own man, like we're all just as equal, just as capable, just as creative, just as we all can be just as aggressive, we all can be just as nice. It's just, we decide, we choose to take on these characters, these attributes about ourselves, to what? To define and design who we are, want to be portrayed. Um but then sometimes, there's emotions that, that triggers you to react a certain way, and in reacting a certain way, somebody can perceive it so in a manner that they don't really recognize or understand, so they're kind of taken back. Um but to man up is just, like I said, knowing that you're just as capable as the next man, and you don't have to. You can all, feel obligated, feel like you have no other choice, or you have. But and that's the thing. Some people, through history, just through life, you see like there's, leaders and the followers. You know what I mean? So that there is a group of people who I wouldn't say naturally, but just there's a group of people that tend to just only follow without ever turning in, being able to have the capabilities of being the leader. I mean, they're capable, but just taking on what it takes, because it does take work to be a leader. You know what I mean? Like it takes work to
Oh
to
yeah.
be good at anything. So to put in the work and not just live life, for what it is. To live life to the fullest means you put in work. To me, you put
Hmm.
in work on all aspects of life. But and that's being a badass, is putting in work. Just put in the work to working hard to the maximum of your ability in any facet that you're doing, whether it be sweeping, whether it be, polishing jewelry, whether it be whatever you enjoy or love doing. That's manning up to me, is the fact that you can do what you love doing till its full capable maximum potential on how you visualize it,
Yeah.
because we all have a different vision, and that vision is like so obstructly just non understandable to somebody else on your vision. Then it's like, no way they'll understand and think everything that you want to do is like cape or should be, you should do or whatever. So that's manning up, is when you can, like, yeah, stand on your own 2 feet and just do everything you want to do because you love to do it, want to do it.
You
not
know,
being created.
I had something to say on that really quick, and that is I actually posted a podcast a while back called Why Healthy Self Entitlement is Attractive. And what I said on that podcast is I said to be your own man, have what I call high status direction, and have like a vision, have like a masculine purpose, if you will. And so on that episode, I want to get on my next point on manning the fuck up. So in that episode, I talk about what is called healthy narcissism, and a lot of people have already said to me, Adam, that just doesn't sound right because being a narcissist is frowned upon, and it's like, but it's like, why? Why should it be frowned upon if when it comes to social situations, for example, if you are rejected, for example, if you reframe that rejection as, oh, she just complimented you kind of thing, it's like, oh, I appreciate the compliment. You know, it's like you're like a narcissist in terms of reframing rejection. So in a way, healthy narcissism is a good way to man up too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I agree with healthy narcissism being a thing because even so, I believe in the experience, the human experience. You experience life, and then that experience is to be shared with other people, and your experience helps the next person understand, cope, grab ideas or whatever it may be to to fulfill their life. um and that's just how the world turns. So let me see, where was I going with that? um but yeah, to be able to man, I don't even remember where I was going with that. But
All good. I
well,
can edit this out. All good.
what was your question?
Just basically your viewpoint on healthy narcissism.
Oh yeah, narcissism. Um, yeah. So your experience is all you know. You know what I mean. So your tunnel vision with your experience, you don't really, you know, um, you don't really take in other people's, experience. But everybody have their own experience. So all you know, when you explain to somebody a question that they may have, all you can do is speak from I. You know what I mean. So
Right.
is that narcissism? You know what I mean. When you be like I,
Yeah,
but that's
yeah.
all
It's
you
like
know.
everything is about me kind of thing. Like it all right, so obviously everyone knows by now I talk about dating, masculinity, and fitness. So to briefly say this, there are a lot of women out there that claim, oh, being self-entitled, very strong, independent, that type of mentality that they have, oh, I don't need a man kind of thing. Why don't we take that and men have to like actually have to see that in basically men have got to stop placing women as their purpose and really circle back to them and they become self-entitled so that they can literally realize that in a way being self-entitled is kind of narcissistic, but the way I'm saying it is this: why not be somewhat of a narcissist but have the self-image of a narcissist? Because when I look in the mirror sometimes I'll be like, man, I'm such a handsome stud. Like I love
Right,
mirrors right now. Like I love mirrors so much. I have such a good
right,
relationship with myself.
right. Yeah, there's definitely nothing wrong with being a narcissist, but that doesn't mean you have to treat people like they're lower than you, or you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
they're less than or whatever.
Right. And so that healthy, that's why I said it can become unhealthy when you demean people, when you talk down on people kind of thing. So
Right.
that's really what I want to tie into the next part of my podcast, where I want to briefly talk about this because I can talk about this for hours. Let's face it, this shit fucking fascinates me, James. Have you ever heard of the dark triad?
What is it?
The dark triad.
No, I can't say I've
Okay.
I've heard of that.
So the dark
Heard-
triad is narcissism, psychopathy, and Machiavellianism.
I never heard those last two.
Okay, so narcissism, psychopathy, and Machiavellianism.
What are those? I'm gonna have to look those up.
Yeah. So watch Jordan Peterson. he talks about this a lot. So there's something fascinating about this topic that it just fucking fascinates the hell out of me. That is, if you can understand your your dark side and know it, you can essentially put awareness on it, and then you're like, oh, now I can see I have some dark triad traits. Because me, I will admit this, I have kind of a massive ego, and I'm like, oh, I'm such a handsome stud. So I'm like kind of narcissistic in a way. You know what I mean? So like,
Right.
willing to own that. You know what I mean? So it's like, get to know your dark triad traits. So then you're like, oh, but be proud of it and own it and don't be shameful about it. I think that that's a great way to man up. A great
I
way.
feel like the only way to not be shameful about it and to be able to really own it is to put in the work, to do what it takes to have that confidence, that energy, like
Yeah.
the workouts, the workouts being one of them, doing what a lot of people aren't doing, like being able to be the first person to do something or be the only one to do that. You kind of build a sense of confidence of that. I mean, I don't know, I guess I don't know if everybody felt this way, but I've always wanted to be different. Some people wanted to feel the same, I guess, as I don't know, being the similar as the next person. But I in my life always wanted to stand out, just be better, be not better, but just stand out and be bright, like I guess they
Right.
say, shine bright like a light. um but so in doing that, I tend to follow the roads of what few have treaded, and been successful. So um I mean, I definitely, has have came from a what is it, a more poor upbringing lifestyle, like a lot of other people, and has been successful. So that's that's just a story, that can go along with the success that everybody can have,
Mm-hmm.
so that definitely helps because it builds character, going through the toughness, going through the roughness, and then once you have that wisdom and knowledge from those tough and rough moments, you can utilize that wisdom and knowledge in any facet of life, business, schooling, motivating people, educating people.
You just remind me of something, James. That is, when times get tough, you have got to celebrate. Because when times are hard, right? That's like, as you and I both know, problems are fucking beautiful because we come from the West Watson community. So it's like problems are beautiful, but more importantly, when times are tough, you celebrate because you look at those problems that you have and you look at those terrible tragedies that maybe you have in your as a good thing though. Like I'll just give you an example. Last year, a close family member got in a bad car accident, like really bad
Mhm.
car accident. But then here's what happened, dude. This lit a fire under my ass because I obviously, like, I'm not gonna say who got into the car accident for privacy reasons, but uh, it motivated me to actually get my book published. I'm an author of 2 books,
Yeah,
so
no, that's pretty dope. That's pretty dope, man, for sure. I want to get a book published, autobiography for sure. So eventually, I don't know when, because I still got a long journey, long road ahead that bring value to the book. So I gotta still live life, I feel like. But I mean, I can, I don't know, there's always. I mean, what books have you written on?
okay, one of my favorites is Mindsets by Carol Dweck, and I encourage everyone to read this. Everyone, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're a fucking woman listening to my podcast. If you came across my podcast called The Masculine Mindset Show, Mindset by Carol Dweck is so fucking important. This book taught me one of the biggest life lessons I've ever learned in my life, and that is, dude, blame is nothing but a false label. blame is nothing but a false label. That is, if you
Yeah.
ever try to blame society for this, other people for that, it's like, dude, you're just like that. That doesn't mean anything. Like you're just pointing the finger back at you.
Right.
And it taught me so much though too. That is, everyone has a fixed mindset. I sometimes I catch myself even have a fixed mindset here and there, but like really, you have to develop a growth mindset because that growth mindset is what gets you to succeed. And let's face it, most people when you, for example, you learn social skills or like outreach or like cold approach and like dating or whatnot. It doesn't matter what it is. If you're outreaching to people and you get quote unquote rejected, you act like it's the worst thing in the world. But whereas that's what a fixed mindset says. A growth mindset says, "Oh hey, I'll look at that as feedback. It's just feedback."
Right. Right. Right.
And and that was a big aha moment for me of reading Mindset by Carol Dweck. It is hands down one of the most important books ever written. Hands down.
You have to text message me all those names.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, and then I could just look them up later.
What about you? What books have you read that
I've read what they're all on my Instagram, the Chizeler, but what 48 Laws of Power,
oh yeah, I read it.
psycho what was it? Psycho
Cybernetics.
Cybernetics, yeah,
Yeah,
cybernetics.
I'm familiar with that one.
The Alchemist, I've read The Alchemist. I've read Get Rich or Die Trying by Curtis Jackson, 50 Cent. Um,
That song Many Men, I like that one a lot.
no, it's a good book. It's a really good book.
Good album too.
The Master Game. I read a book called The Master Game, and that talked about tripping LSD and then reaching that level of enlightenment through natural meditation compared to the drug or whatever. So that was a good book too. Um, and that just taught me, as far as like doing the work, loving the journey of doing the work is a lot better than just the result.
Right. You
But
you just reminded me, James, that daily meditation is hands down the most important masculine mindset habit to have on the face of this earth. And a lot of people say, Adam, like, why would I meditate? How is that masculine? But it's like it is because when you clear your mind of all thoughts, you realize that you are not your thoughts.
I
It,
mean, that's what all the greats have done, though, and they're all looked at as men who've accomplished above the average. You know what I mean?
yeah, and it's such a dude. It's such a good thing to do. I'm actually going to sponsor this podcast by Brain FM. Brain period FM. And the reason I'm going to sponsor this podcast by Brain FM is because I use it. Dude, it's only like $7 to like basically have access to focus music, relaxation music, meditation music, and even sleep music. But it's binaural beats. It's all
Oh,
binaural beats. Yeah.
oh shit!
So Brain FM is dope. Um,
I'll check it out. Yeah, don't forget to send me that list. all these brain FBs. Here, I'll write that one down.
binaural beats. Yeah. It's good shit.
All right, that's what's up. But yeah, manning up is like you said, meditating, working out. I feel like every man should work out, like even if it's through your job and your job is making you do physical work and that's keeping you in shape, like that's an important activity that man needs to do on a daily basis is work out in some way, form, or another. Every day when you wake up, I mean, I'm not saying this is alpha manly, but I feel like you should stretch as soon as you get out the bed, stretch your body from being stiff, from being asleep. for those 8, 6, 5 hours, whatever you get, longer than you would ever be still. Whoa. So
Yeah.
stretch your body for sure as soon as you wake up out of the bed. But I would say asserting yourself is very manly and masculine. Um, it's something that a man should always have in their traits. Is being assertive of themselves. Obviously, that to be assertive of yourself, you have to know who you are. You have to know what you like, what you don't like. You have to know where you're going in life and what you want to do with it, and to some degree, and have some wisdom in that area as well, as far as like you put it in some physical work and have the actual experience of that thing to be able to speak on it. Might not be far and advanced as other people are, but far enough where your knowledge is basically holds true to the results that you are able to get. So that's definitely something that should as a man you should be able to do, is assert yourself.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that just dawned on me. Uh, being more assertive is hands down highly masculine. And in my opinion, not only is being assertive highly masculine, when you show your assertiveness in the world, people pick up on it. Okay? And I know obviously I get a fair amount of dudes listening for the dating advice. If you guys want to get some dating advice here, I'll say this briefly. Women love assertiveness. I don't care who you are. If you think that being assertive is being aggressive, no, that's not the case. Assertive is just basically showing through your actions that you're not to be fucked with. That's how to be assertive. But
Right.
you can overdo it and basically just call people names for the sake of being cruel, you know? That's not
Yeah.
assertive.
Yeah. No, it's one thing to be a bully, and it's another thing to want attention, and then it's another thing to just be present. Yeah.
Hmm. Like how, like about a week ago, the there's a podcast that I released where I'm basically calling the listeners a walking vagina, but the the whole the whole particular reason on why I said that is like, hey, you want to overcome the nice guy syndrome? Stop behaving in feminine ways, and that's why I said the term walking vagina. So it's like I know it doesn't really. There are people out there who think, oh, that's fucked up, but like in my mind, why not just call yourself out and just know where you can improve if you are kind of like that nice guy. So that's what I'm going to say on that really quick. And
Well, me in that area, I definitely, I guess, see myself as the nice guy right now. I mean, but that's the thing, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I come off nice first because that's what I want you to know me as, a nice person. But then just me and my own personal, demeanor, I'm very disciplined and structured, and so that tends to come out and be displayed onto other people, and imposed on their life, to be the and most people aren't that disciplined and structured in their life. So it to them it may feel like they're being attacked, you know what I mean, or you're being too aggressive, and I'm just like, no, that's how I am to myself, you know what I mean? Like, I'm that tough with myself, or I'm that excited about working on myself and growing in
yeah.
myself. So I'm always talking about it and thinking about it, and that's just where my brain waves and thoughts are all about, is just growing and developing, a little bit from the last time I remember doing something or whatever it may be. So A lot of people can get, offended with that energy. So
Yeah.
I'm definitely, you could relate.
Hmm. And and so what I really say to guys on my podcast is just start calling yourself out when you're seeing that you're behaving like that nice guy in social dynamics, because if you don't, then you're not going to know where you can improve. So
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's true for sure. And that's the thing. Like some people don't want to. I mean, it's just work. It just takes the work. You just once you know what you got to do, then you're not doing it. Then you're being less than what you can be, and it's just a spiral of like where you got to build yourself back up from, depending on how far you let yourself slip once you've been shown better, basically.
yeah. And one last note I want to make about the nice guy before moving on is like, you guys, nice guys are actually very manipulative, because in the long term, when they try to ask favors for, um, basically, if they're doing a favor for a woman, what that comes across to women is like, oh hey, that's misusing the reciprocity rule. Whereas she thinks, oh, he just bought me that, so in turn I get sex. That's why nice guys are actually, in a way, misusing the reciprocity rule, if you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean,
So,
to me, and that's the thing. My definition of a nice guy is being honest and truthful, and honest and truthful don't necessarily get you, um, I guess, that label of the nice guy. You know what I mean?
yeah, you want to be labeled the good guy, not the nice guy. The you James, you're definitely a good guy, by the way. So, um,
Okay, okay.
yeah, the the best way in my mind to man the fuck up even more is to basically do the things that you hate doing. So there's something that you don't want to do, you got to do it.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I look at it as like being a one percenter. You know what I mean? Like
Oh yeah, I know what you
doing,
mean.
just doing what most people don't want to do. You know what I mean? Like that definitely separates you, as being above average. And to me, it's not about being better than nobody. It's just about being the best of whatever you're doing. In
Mhm.
whatever you're doing, in your relationships, in talking and communicating. I mean, there's obviously a balance to it, not overstressing yourself and outdoing your energy and overexerting yourself and things like that. But that's also a part of growth, is knowing that you need time to rest, knowing that it's a journey and it's a day-to-day process that you have to depict on what times would be most benefit for you to grow and get to this next level, or what times would it be most benefit for you to rest and do nothing and relax. So it's definitely a pick and choose battle of our decisions that we choose to make, that needs to be fully whole heartfelt, and know that it's only us lying to ourselves if we want rest and we don't really need it. You know what I mean? So
Love it. Yeah, that's great advice, man. Yo, so I'm actually running at about 2 minutes left, so I'm going to wrap up this podcast and say, James, this was an awesome conversation. We talked about a little bit of the nice guy. We talked about uh, manning up, daily meditation. We talked about reading books even too, and this was a great podcast, man. So um, I look forward to doing another podcast with you. And quite frankly, I think that you guys have got to check out this man's Instagram, the Chizeler. So it's spelled THECHIZELER, the Chizeler. All right.
yeah,
So go.
it's actually about to change a little bit. I'm about to take the E out, the first E out, and it'll still be pronounced a Chizeler, but it won't be spelt the same due to copyrights and legality
Yeah.
issues. So yeah, I'm just now about to get it copyrighted, and that was the only thing that was available was without one of the E's. So funny, knowing that this is part of the journey, so you got to accept. That's the thing. You're not gonna get everything you want, but
Mhm.
what do you want? What is the bigger picture that you really want? Mine's is to help people grow, change, and become, the men that they want to be and the women that they want to be. So I can sacrifice, a spelling here or there on certain things. So I definitely appreciate you, Adam, for having this podcast. It definitely learned a lot, learned about myself, learn what to take and to do different and more into the next one in the futures.
Yeah.
It was my second, I'll say my second. My first one was with Matthew Bruce. So this is technically my second podcast ever. So yeah, I'm glad I'm able to experience this, to be able to have something to work with for my critiquing and things of that nature. So I
Yeah, man.
appreciate you. It is an awesome
I appreciate you, man.
podcast. Yeah, no, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening, and I will see you on the next episode.